Congratulations, students, for choosing medicine. It's one of the most noblest professions, the most noblest profession. And being a Hindu, I believe in rebirth, and if I'm born again, I'll be a doctor and I'll be a psychiatrist. You cannot compare medicine with any science because we have served humanity for thousands of years. The Vaidya in the past, the doctor now have been phenomenal, have made phenomenal contributions in the field of medicine to millions of patients. First, let me share my beliefs. I believe that every student is important. All students are equal. Wherever they have come from, whichever state, whichever district, whichever caste, whichever class, and whichever color, all students are equal. Every student is different. Every student can learn. No student is born a criminal. And transformation is possible in every student. And the transformation happens because of the peers, because of the teachers, because of the parents, and because of the entire world around them. Remember, my dear students, you are not going to become a doctor alone. Medical college is a place for personality development also. And it's an opportunity for you to really use it for enhancing your personality, for correcting your weakness, and correcting your nature. My dear friends, you all would have seen this movie, Rise, Roar, and Revolt. But I would like to talk about other three R's: resilience, relationship, repair, and reform. The medical college is a place where you become resilient if you do the right things, which means, number one, if you do not understand the concept, go to your teacher. Do not be ashamed. You could have been a topper in NEET, could have been a topper in 12th standard. Who cares? Here, you're all equal. So build resilience. Number one, kill shame and seek help. Ask them if there's any difficulty in your subject. Ask them if there's any difficulty in your life. Help others who are in difficulties. Adhere to the discipline and the norms of the college. Talk to your parents compassionately and tell them you're going to try your best. Stay away from substance, weed, hash, alcohol, meth, coke, and any substance. Remember one thing, my dear friends. Many people believe that if they smoke weed and hash, nothing happens. It's not alcohol, it's a herb. Go and type impact of cannabis on the brain and look at the brain which has been imaged by a CT scan, MRI, or a PET scan. Then you'll know what happens to you. There are many ways to cope when you're down. There are many ways to cope when you're up. There are many ways to cope when things don't go right. But alcohol, cannabis, white powders are not the answer. Resilience can also be built when you share your personal crisis with your counselor or with your teachers and ask for solutions. Resilience is also built. I still remember my son. He was doing his MBA class school. He was very bad in maths. But he did not hesitate to go to the room of any senior, sit down and learn mathematics without shame, without guilt, and without fear. You kill your shame, you become resilient. If you assist others, you become very resilient. If you're compassionate to your friends, you're very resilient. If you don't make fun of your teachers, you're very resilient. And sometimes it happens. I don't like this teacher. It's a mindset which has started from school. This teacher does not know anything. This teacher doesn't teach. And once you reject a teacher, your learning goes down. Because in life, you have to mine gold from every conversation. Every teacher, any teacher and every teacher can teach you something new if your antenna is correct. Don't look at the English. Don't look at his clothes or her clothes. Don't look at his background or her background. Just keep your antenna awake without bias and prejudice, and you'll learn. And that also builds resilience. Relationship would mean that, I'll come to that a little later, mean you have to work in teams. Nothing doing. You have to work together. When we were in MBBS, we used to sit down and discuss things in the hostel. Somebody would teach, somebody would listen, would teach in turns, and we would help each other in turn. I still remember the day in hostel when we went to put the holy color on my colleague Satish Wadke. He folded his hands and said, "These are the 2 shirts and pants I have. If you do this, I will not be able to attend my class." Relationship means being sensitive to every student. Some of you may be rich. Some of you may be poor. Some of you may be middle class, but being sensitive to every student without making fun of anybody, you build resilience and you learn to build a team. Because ultimately, in the future, the team will win. Relationship would also mean when you're doing an assignment, somebody does more work, you do less work. Somebody does less work, you do more work. But the point is, you respect every colleague in the team. You might not like a person, but accept that kainat, destiny, prarabdha has brought you all together. The third thing, my dear friend, is repair and reform. These teachers who talk very, very nice things during induction, very sweet things, they are there for you. When they touch your answer papers, then they don't use the pen, they use the sword. Dun, dun, dun. And you might get less marks. So what? So what? We are not the character in 3 Idiots. Less marks, so less marks. People who accept less marks as the truism and look at the feedback from the teacher, look at the remarks of the teacher, go and discuss with the teacher, how can I score more? What is it that I don't understand? They become resilient, they know how to build a relationship, and they know how to repair themselves and not hide themselves. Those students who hide themselves, I don't understand anatomy. I never understood anatomy. I never was able to distinguish between a nerve, an artery, or a vein. I still remember my demonstrator or my professor would pick up something. And I would not understand. That would not mean that you're a bad doctor. You have to keep on trying all the time. The difference between chart accountancy and MBBS is chart accountancy is easy to enter, difficult to come out. In medicine, it is difficult to enter, but easy to come out. All of you will do well. So it's important that you choose repair. And if you have a breakup, or if your parent has passed away, if you had death in the family, if you had breakup in friendships, don't hide. Never ever hide. Hiding is the hallmark of somebody who will remain underground all his life. Open up and talk like Deepika Padukone. Talk like Rohit Kohli, who cried and wept during the 2023 World Cup when we lost. If Kohli, Rohit Sharma and others wept when they lost the 2023 World Cup, what is wrong? For us, never hide under a roof and a locked hostel room. Never hide from your teachers or your friends, because we are constantly growing. We are constantly evolving. Teachers are also constantly evolving. So no shame. But don't expect a teacher to answer your questions all over again. Teachers are like mothers. They will say you have not paid attention in the class. Like your mother. They will say you don't pay attention when I teach. Like your mother. Don't go and talk against the teacher behind their backs. Go and tell them, I still would want to learn this chapter in physiology. I would still want to learn this chapter in surgery. I don't understand the chemical reaction in biochemistry. I don't understand the chapter. Please help me. No teacher in your school or anywhere in the country would refuse help when they're respected, when they're looked at, and when there is respect, it is the respect for the teacher and accepting him exactly as it is that brings the best out of teacher. My dear friends, when you leave your home, you remember your parents, first year MBBS. You remember your mother's food. You become homesick. A lot of girls come and tell me they're homesick. No harm at all. The best way to do is keep the entire conversation on video. Don't allow your mother to say, I miss you all the time. Then you'll not get acclimatized to the college at all. But remember, keep in touch with your mother and father. And remember one thing, my dear students, your mother and father are not your counselors alone. You are also the counselors of your mother and father. Look at them, take care of them, and also ask them to keep themselves healthy. At the same time, talk about little things which are happening in college. Mom's food. No hostel has good food in any part of the country. I have not yet seen any student praising the hostel food. Never. It is a sharp of God that your mother's food you'll never get in the hostel. You'll always abuse the hostel food. But the point is, when you miss that, remember, try and appreciate your mother and say that what you gave me was phenomenal and I really miss your food. And that brings the bonding between you and your mother. My dear friends, leaving your room and coming to the hostel, difficult, very difficult. And in your room, you could do anything. Your mother would clean it. Here, you have to clean it largely. You have to take care of your room. And sometimes leaving your boyfriend and girlfriend is so difficult. My God, really difficult. But remember one thing. पढ़ाई और पहलवानी की उम्र निकल गई तो गई. Your first spouse, your first girlfriend, and your first boyfriend is your studies. Nothing else. And your studies in MBBS, not PG entrance now. No damn classes. Attend your classes. Don't read guides, all those small anatomy books. Read the real anatomy book, real Gray's Anatomy. Read Grace, Love and Bailey. Don't read the examination-oriented small books. You're not going to mug up and answer the exam. You're going to understand the nuance between two words. You're going to understand the nuance between two paragraphs. And even if you leave your girlfriend, boyfriend, the other day I was in a law college and I asked these boys, how do you manage your long distance? They said, honesty, communication, and helping each other in each other's studies. So this is also difficult. Leaving your siblings, अन्ना अक्का भाई बहन, कभी कभी मुश्किल होता है, पर बातें करते रहिए तो आपकी याददाश्त बिल्कुल ताजी रहेगी. मम्मी पापा को बोलना, डोंट आस्क फॉर मार्क्स ऑल द टाइम. Don't ask for whether you are inside the room or not. Don't ask for have you eaten your food. Talk to them about little things in the college. I did this, I enjoyed this, I did this, but I did not enjoy this. I met my friend and we talked this, and at the same time, your parents will talk little things which will help you to bond. Room partner, not easy, not easy. Some will keep the phones on till night. Some would want to sleep early. Some would want to sleep late. So see to it that somehow you establish a relationship and come to a middle ground. Ultimately, on the earth, 21st century, whether you are in United States of America or you are in Bharat, you will have to understand that building bonds and finding some equation with your partner in the hostel, with your life partner, or with your friends in the hospital as and when you work is the most important trait for any doctor. Nobody is God's gift to the human race. Just because you've got a gold medal, that would not mean you know everything. Just because you're a topper, that would not mean you know everything. Keep this in mind and find a way by which you can build some rapport so that you don't trouble each other and you're able to live in harmony with each other. Failing which, the warden is the arbitrator, the teachers are the arbitrators. Hindi mein they say, ye hamare Mandoli ke badshah hai, as shown depicted in the film Vastav. My dear friends, water, food, language, fears. Don't sit with your best friend in the class all the time. From your village, from Gulbarga, from Davangere, Mix around. Mix around. Intense friendship with one person. Two boys sitting together, two girls sitting together is not a good sign. You will be anxious when you sit with others. But when you sit with others, you learn the culture of others. You learn the language of others. You learn the way they behave. And you will get equipped of negotiating people even after you finish MBBS. Because ultimately, your college is a place wherein you don't only learn skills, you develop your personality, my dear friends. As you enter, this college is better, this is bad. Food there is better, and this is bad. Here they don't take classes properly. That college takes classes properly. There are enough students everywhere who blame everything in life. Everything in life. Mother did not love her, father did not love him, teachers don't pay attention to him. My dear friends, there is no place for blaming. There was an old Hindi movie actress, Nirupa Roy, and Meena Kumari. They would always talk about how bad their life is. My dear friends, nobody in your class ever has not experienced love. Each one of you has experienced love. Each one of you has experienced good things in life apart from the difficult things. So try to make the best of what you have. If you have a scooter in the house, you make the best of the scooter. You don't cry that you don't have a car. If you have a car in the house, you don't cry that you don't have an aeroplane. If you have a small car, you don't cry that you don't have a bigger car. You can aspire for more, but make the best of what you have. Life is all about make the best. Marriage is all about making the best of what you have. You don't get made to order wife or husband. Ask these teachers. Have they got made to order wife or husband? You make the best of what you have. And disgruntlement and talking negative all the time will not help you. But at the same time, please go and share your concerns with your teachers. Remember, when students come together from different places, different districts, different cities, different cultures, different castes, do not segregate anybody. Pay healthy attention to every student. It's so important to pay healthy attention. Don't ignore anybody. And the best way to do is, as you walk in the college, smile, greet, and listen. This SGL, keep smiling as you enter the class. Say hello to everybody. It helps your capital, it helps your hypothalamo pituitary axis to do well. If somebody else would not smile, it makes no difference at all. So reciprocal association would mean pay respectful attention to people around. And what is also important is reciprocal awareness. When you are aware of your colleagues and your friends, you know what food they like, what food you like. You may be vegetarian. He might like some food which is good in his family. So you learn, you become culturally relevant, culturally reformed, and culturally rich when you're aware of what is happening around. And when you're aware of what is happening around, remember, don't have one best friend, not a good idea. You always move around them, safe place, be unsafe, and try to have a larger group of colleagues, of friends, of acquaintances, but don't be seen only with one person all the time. Reciprocal acceptance. When I tell myself that I'm in this college and I'll be in this college for at least 5 years or 5.5 years, I don't know. You always tell yourself, destiny has brought all of you together. Meghna Patil never knew that she'll be in this college and work with Dr. Tejaswini and my friend who invited me. They did not know. It's all Kainat. It's all Shiva. It's all Shiva. It's all Ram. It's all Krishna. It's all God. You are destined to be in this college, so reciprocal acceptance. I might not agree with him, but accept him as my colleague. In life, even in families, acceptance and respect is more important than like and love. You might differ, you might debate, you might discuss, you might dissent. Nothing wrong. Accept the person around as part of your journey in the next 5 years. My dear friends, reciprocal appreciation. Very bad. Indians don't appreciate at all. There is a cultural reason for that. Somebody is praying to sun, somebody is praying to moon, somebody is praying to mountain. Somebody is praying to Hanuman, somebody is praying to Ram, somebody is praying to Brahma, all different directions. But that is a healthy thing, by the way. When the culture has a long history, you have several colors, not only the rainbow. You have several colors. We are not homogeneous, we are heterogeneous. So each one of us has his own God, has his own taste. And so we are not a homogeneous population which can be whipped into hatred or which can be whipped to do anything wrong or anything right. We are heterogeneous, that's our strength. But at the same time, there's also a weakness because Indians don't clap. Indians don't clap for others. When two professors write a paper and send it to the publisher, if the assistant professor paper is accepted earlier and the head of the department paper is rejected, there's a lot of issues in the department. They don't look at each other, they don't smile at each other. Same with MBBS. Somebody will get more marks than you. You may be a topper in your 12th. Who cares? You may be a topper in your 10th. You may be a topper in your district. Who cares? Your NEET results has no meaning at all. And in one test, somebody might get more. I never got good marks in anatomy and gynecology. I have never understood that subject. Difficult. I mean, ulnar nerve goes from here and there. How does it matter? It goes here above this artery, below this muscle, around the bone. Who the hell cares? I could not fathom because my spatial quality was not good. But that would not mean that I have not become a good doctor. The point is, accept your limitations, live on your strengths, and marks are like share bazaar ka patrika. They will go up and down. But friendships will last forever. Friendships will last forever. Your friendship should not be based on jealousy of somebody getting more marks than you. If somebody who comes by car and you come by cycle, your friendship should not be decided by the amount, by the weight of the wallet of your friend. Friendship is we study together, we go to the class together, we learn together, we help each other, and marks comes. I'm sure the person who invited me never asked me my third MBBS marks. I'm sure. Meghna Patil, are you married? Say yes or no. Yes?
No, sir.
Okay. As and when you get married, if at all you get married to a doctor, before slipping the ring, will you ask him his first MBBS anatomy marks, second MBBS medicine marks? No. So marks are part of the game. But what is important is appreciation. Reciprocal appreciation changes the heart. It leads to reciprocal empathy, which means I will help him. If he's depressed, I'll take him to the doctor. If he's suicidal, I'll immediately alert my friend. I will not say it is his privacy. It's his life. No. Reciprocal empathy means my journey in this college is 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And I'll be alert to whatever is happening around. And I'll be alert to what is happening right and what is happening wrong. My dear friends, these 5 things we all of us should remember. Reciprocal association, reciprocal awareness, reciprocal acceptance, yes, reciprocal appreciation. Appreciation should be full. And reciprocal empathy, it only happens when you believe that you're all here because of destiny, not because of a father or your mother. It's not because of the prime minister or the home minister. It's because destiny has brought all of you together, including teachers. So out of the 4, if you appreciate abundantly when somebody is doing well, reciprocal association happens automatically, reciprocal awareness happens automatically, reciprocal acceptance happens automatically, empathy, your heart size grows, your hug size grows, you become a different person, and not only in the college, but you become a different human being in life. And that is very, very important. So again, re-emphasize, your college is not a place to earn only money later or get skills. Your college is a place where personality development is happening consciously, unconsciously, subtly, directly, indirectly, intangibly, and tangibly. My friends, all of us get some baggage from the family. Our families are not easy. There is stress all over. Some of you may have had a breakup. Some of you may have had problems with your parents, mother and father, not really looking eye to eye. Some of you may have been so affected because of some death in the family at some point of time. Some of you may have had responsibilities in the family which you cannot fulfill because you're in this college. All of us have some baggage. And nowadays, kids are not very resilient. They may be intelligent. They may score great marks. They may join Ivy League colleges, but they're brittle. they are brittle because upbringing is very, very different. My upbringing was, I have heard no from my father and mother a million times. Yeah, this you will not get. And we accepted the no exactly as it is. But my generation gives everything to the children. You want this, you take. You want this, you take. And one day when they hear a no from a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and one day when they hear a no for an iPhone, one day they hear a no from the teacher, they want to die. What the hell? What the hell? So what is important is if you have a baggage, you have a psychiatry department there, probably. You have counselors there, you have teachers there. Try and repair the baggage. Not they can't repair everything. They can't repair a traumatic relationship between your parents. They can't bring back your father or mother who's died. They can't bring back the money which your father and mother have lost. Many of you feel very guilty that the parents spending money for education and you're not able to do your best. No, parents will always help you. Parents will always help you. Even if you get low marks, they'll accept you. And you will do the same with your own children. You'll also do with this. You're the same with your own children. Marks does not define how you develop as a human being. It's only one part of the story. You have to try your best. Remember this. That would not mean that you'll close your books after my lecture. You have to try your best. You have to try to excel. But parents believe that they'll accept the child in whatever way he or she is. And it's important that if you have a very difficult baggage, you seek help in the college through your counselors or your teachers. Don't hold it inside your heart. And remember, things will not happen the way you want always. Nahi hoega. Remember, I told you all the teachers don't have pens when they correct the paper. They have swords. They'll be tough in the correction so that you become tough and very resilient. So we are fragile and brittle. Many of us are very anxious. And sometimes because of anxiety, you're not doing well in your class. You may not do well in Viva Voce. You might not do well in certain aspects of practicals in the long case and the short case. You might really not do well because you've not read all the portion. In MBBS or in MD, we cannot finish all the portion. You have to finish as much as you can. So if you have anxiety, yoga and vipassana works. Sharing your fears works. Openly sharing your fears works. Good sleep works. Humor works. Pranayam works. And being in touch with your teachers work. Teachers who go to hostels and have gappa, have normal chats on the hostel steps. Very normal, neutral gappa, as we call it in Marathi or Hindi. They have better bonding with the children. Family issues, as I've said, love and breakups never die for a guy. Breakup is normal. It happens to everybody. First love, always break up. Unless you're unlucky. If you're unlucky, you'll have the first guy or the girl whom you met in the gynecological hospital because you were born from different parents and you are in adjacent beds and you marry unlucky. Breakup is very normal. Okay? And breakup would not mean that because you are bad. It would not mean because you don't look. It would not mean that there's something very deficient in you. That would not mean that somebody is much smarter than you. Breakup happens because love can have birth, growth, and death. It has been said by Albert Ellis. It's there in the Vedas also. So when you separate from somebody and you're very upset, friends should not say, "Oh, I told you so." Friends should not say, "Who was that guy or that girl you're after?" Accept the person, hold his hand, help him, and if he's suicidal and depressed, see that he takes treatment. Mental illness is normal. 1 out of 7 Indians are mental ill. So if you have been taking any treatment for mental illness, psychological counseling or medical treatment, please go and tell your counselor or your psychiatrist in the college. Nobody can remove you from the college because mental illness is one of the 21 disabilities in the PWD Act. You'll get support. You'll get help. It's important not to stop your medications if you're taking medications. See a psychiatrist and see to it that people will tell you, if now you're in MBBS, everything's okay, you stop medication. Don't do that ever in your life. My dear friends, no bullying, hierarchical harassment, not acceptable. Will you do it? If you are in second MBBS and if your brother is in first MBBS, will you actually bully your brother? No. Will you bully anybody in your class who's meek and timid? There are timid children in the class. There are meek kids in the class. Don't make them do all your work. Don't make fun of them. Those who make fun of others are insecure themselves. Those who make fun of others are incomplete themselves. Those who make fun of others need help for their own self-esteem. Don't bully anybody. You'll destroy somebody's life. Whether you're a senior, junior, or in the same class. Don't force anybody to take alcohol just because you are taking alcohol. And my dear friend, just because somebody is taking alcohol, you don't have to belong in that group and go and take alcohol for yourself. Pharmacy textbooks will say alcohol is not a stimulant. It is a depressant. It destroys the sleep architecture. It delays sleep latency, and it causes damage to many of your organs. And my dear friends, Shakespeare once said, which has been quoted in Satoskar's textbook of pharmacology, alcohol provoketh the desire and taketh away the performance. And if you see somebody bullying somebody very badly, no fear, go back to your dean, go back to your teachers and tell them. Don't fear any minister's son. Don't fear any big guy's son or daughter. Don't fear any VIP's son or daughter. You have a right to protest and you have a right to see to it that your bullying stops. And all the bullies, remember, we can help you to understand, to move from bullying to bonding. So many bullies have stories of their own. They have been bullied by somebody else in school. And sometimes some bullies are very dangerous, because I always say, when the children are brats, the parents are super brats. Indulgent parenting. Go, we are there. Nothing will happen to you. The dean is my friend. He's destroying you. Such father is destroying his son. Don't do that. Tell your father, whoever he is, whoever mother, you stay away. Let me negotiate my college the way I want to. That will give you self-respect. That will give you self-esteem. That will give you an identity. Away from your father and mother. You should not be known by this fellow's son or this lady's daughter. You should be known that he is your father and she is your mother. And that is something you need to achieve. My dear friends, abundant cash in your hands can spoil your nature. So when you feel very bullied, communicate with the person, say that I don't want this, confront the person, and next is go and complain. All the bullies, after some time, they become like this. They destroy their souls. They may be intelligent. They may be having extra 100 grams of brain. They may have scored gold. They may be rich. They may be powerful, but they will become like this after some time because the soul dies. My dear friends, jealousy to joyfulness. Very important concept. When somebody scores more and you score less, and you say, oh, he must have got the paper. His uncle is a professor of medicine in some other college. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. It's important to say that I feel jealous, but I'm going to appreciate somebody who's done much better than me, very openly. And that's a Buddhist concept, which is known as mudita. Read about it. The two greatest mental health professionals on the earth, all time, are Maharishi Patanjali, who gave us yoga, and Bhagwan Buddha, who gave us mindfulness or vipassana. And what did he say? In Buddhism, mudita means sympathetic joy or happiness in the good fortune of others. In the Buddhist school of thought, mudita is one of the most important qualities a person can cultivate alongside metta, that is loving kindness, and karuna, that is compassion. That will change your nature completely. My dear friends, when Rahul Dravid was asked, in so many years of your coach, what are the highlights? He did not say, I won the World Cup, I won the Champions Trophy. He said, connections I made were the most important aspects. So, my dear friends, in your college, you're not going to say, I scored 80% anatomy. After 5 years, you're not going to say, I scored extremely well in medicine. You're going to say, I made friends, strong, lasting friendships, which last across life. You'll go for each other's marriage. You'll be sad if somebody gets divorced. You'll go for each other's family, good times and bad times. And that is very important. It's the connections we make that define us in our college. It's not the marks alone, but you should try and study as much as well as you can, and that is important. Everyone, I learned this in COVID. The best lesson in COVID which I learned is if everyone is safe, I am safe. So ultimately, if your connectedness is much better in the class and you don't hang around with a few people, and if you are able to help people mindfully, not mindlessly, and you are not ashamed to seek help, you will be always connected. My dear friends, at the same time, remember one thing: you need to be emotionally aware, which means what? Which means be aware of your feelings. I am angry because the teacher did not explain to me this concept. I'm angry because my friend, I helped him so much in one subject, but he refused to help me. I'm angry because he borrowed my book and did not give back to me. I'm angry at my father because he shouts at me all the time on the phone and asks me how much marks he got. He never asked me, how are you? Anger is one feeling. Sad. I'm so sad that I was not able to appear for my exam because I felt sick. I'm so sad that I expected something more, but I got a little less marks. I'm sad because my mother is unwell and I can't go and see her because of exams in my college. I'm so sad because my father does not treat my mother well, or my mother would not treat my father well. I'm so sad that my teacher insulted me in front of the whole class. I'm so happy that somebody helped me. Joy. Joy is also an emotion. I'm so jealous, that's also an emotion. I'm so scared, that's also an emotion. I love my parents, I love all my teachers, and I'm very happy to share my affection to people whom I feel close to. These are the 6 feelings. Remember, in your communication, largely be in the feeling mode. Don't say that teacher is useless. You should say, I did not understand what he taught me. I need to go back to him and check and help him explain to me what he or she exactly taught me. The word useless is an adjective. It does not help. So it's important if you feel that the portion is so huge and the examination dates were given much late and you have little time. I'm so angry that the dean is useless. The HOD, my God, is worse than a pig. Mhm. I think we have a point. We need to go and tell our teachers that we need to have a little more time for examination. They may have erred in understanding our perspective. Their perceptions about how many days we need is bad, and that will make you a leader. Because when you share feelings, you share also find solutions. When you share adjectives, your communication is closed. The people who share adjectives all their life, you'll see them in your lives. They don't do well in life. At 40s, they become very cynical. They sit in the room and say, I scored more than him in anatomy, but see what he's doing. He must have done something useless. He's a corrupt fellow. How did he make so much money? I scored more marks than him in third MBS, but he is a professor doing extremely well. And we all grow. Everybody grows. You will have to update the software of every student all the time. And in 40s, you'll become cynical if you use a lot of adjectives. So be in the communication feeling mode. And some of us are sarcastic. Look at people who are sarcastic all the time. They don't do anything in life. Their contribution is zero. And they're very unhappy also. Those who use adjectives all their life are very unhappy people. ये चोर है, सब जगह पॉलिटिक्स है, ऐसा है, useless है. They are unhappy all their life and they have no glow and they are not happy. My dear friends, if ever you feel suicidal, don't make the mistake which the founder of Coffee Day did. If you would have called one person, you would have been saved. 250 crores loan is nothing. 1,000 crores loan is also nothing. If you had called one person, you know how he died? Because he was ashamed to show his face. He was ashamed. He felt his reputation has gone. Reputation is a fantasy. Each of you will have difficult stories in your life at some point of time. Everybody will have. Things will not be joyous all the time, my dear friends. The other side of the picture you should not become. There's difference between being ashamed and killing shame and being shameless and doing everything against the country and against the people. My dear friends, parents will have expectations. But remember, their acceptance upon expectations will always be greater than one. They will not leave you. Indian parents shout at you. It's normal. Indian parents, तू मेरा पेट में कैसा पैदा हुआ? तू पैदा नहीं हुआ तो अच्छा रहता. Standard dialogue. It's out of love. Don't take it too seriously. Okay? We are Indians. We are not Americans. Americans are scared. If they say something to the child, they will dial 911. Here, when we invite somebody forward, hey, खाने के लिए आता है क्या नहीं? Come to my home for food. They will not say, will you please come for dinner in my house? So don't get angry at your parents. They accept you, but they also have expectations. But the ratio of acceptance upon expectation is greater than one. As I said, that any teacher will teach you something new, and that antenna has to be out without any bias and prejudice. I've learned single things from single person. I still remember my friend Kumar. I was walking at Vile Parle, it's a part of Bombay, on a Sunday afternoon. And he said, Harish, it's easy to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but difficult to get good friends. I converted that into a workshop. What a sentence. He's not a doctor. He's an IT professional. It's easy to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but difficult to get friends. Just because if you have a boyfriend, you're not efficient. And if you don't have, you're not deficient. What a sentence. One psychologist, Seema Mehta, when I was teaching a course in child psychology, school mental health, 2001, he suddenly asked me a question, why is the male handkerchief big and the female handkerchief small? It hit me. What a learning, what an insight. I converted that into a workshop of mood, tears, and grief. I converted that sentence into an entire workshop. Why is the male handkerchief big and the female handkerchief small? What a sentence. One patient came and said, my son is not studying. He's in love. I said, let him be in love. What is your problem? And he stood up and said, हम यूपी के हैं सब. पढ़ाई और पहलवानी की उम्र निकल गई तो गई. I learned that sentence from an ordinary UP patient. You learn only if your antenna is sharp, without any prejudice. In my state of Karnataka, there was a saint, Sarvagnya, no? His name, if you know, Meghna Patil ko Kannada nahi aata hai.
Yes, sir. She knows Kannada. She's very
I know,
much
sir. I know, sir.
But is he the same person who learned one word from every person?
Yes, sir. Sarvagnya, sir.
Sarvagnya, yeah. So you have to learn one word from every person. Keep your antennas out. No bias, no prejudice. And everybody teaches. My dear friends, you can always have a breakup. Love is what I want you, but I can live without. Which means what? Which means I love myself first. All the girls in the class and the college, remember, how you feel defines how you look. Eat well. The day you'll feel you don't look good, you might land up in 35 pieces in a fridge. The day when you feel you don't look good, you'll fall in love with a jerk. The day when you feel you don't look good, you'll hold a twig and you think it's a branch and it will fall. And same for boys. Feeling good about your body, thanking your God for giving you a beautiful body, because how you feel defines how you look. I still remember your senior professors, Madam Tejaswi will remember. In DD, Hindi News, there was Salma Sultan. She would never smile, but she had proper makeup, proper lipstick, proper eyeliner, proper compact, but she would never smile. She did not look good. Amitabh Bachchan in Mohabbat, handsome, tall. But he was in grief because his daughter committed suicide. And his words, when he says, Parampara, Pratishtha, Anushasan, his face, not good. How you feel defines how you look. Color doesn't matter. Thank God for giving you the best creation in the cosmos, where billions of cells talk to each other. And no better creation we have seen, in spite of the supercomputer, in spite of the artificial intelligence, in spite of machine learning, etc., etc. Protect your body. Love affairs will break. Marks, you might fail. Marks will be less, but protect your body, my dear friends. Love can have birth, growth, and death. Sometimes rebirth. When you fall in love, Don't dil khol ke pyar mat karo. Aankhein khol ke pyar karo, bhai. Keep your eyes open. My dear friends, as I've said, connectivity and connectivity is important. Remember one thing, if your grades are falling, don't go to an astrologer, go to your teacher. Teacher knows why it's falling. Maybe you have no aptitude for this subject. I never had aptitude for gynec. That V1, V2, I don't have spatial understanding. Aisa jata hai, oh, pregnancy mein aisa jata hai, all that. I never understood a shit of it. No aptitude at all. It's important that grades, if it falls, you need to really do well. This I've talked. If your parents really trouble you, complain to your teacher, they will have a chat with your parents and tell them, and they will tell them one thing. Hey father, you have not given birth to a boy with a mark sheet. He didn't come out from the womb after 9 months and said, Idu namdu mark sheet, I behaved well. You have given birth to a child and not a child with a mark sheet. Kill, shame, seek help. And some of you would not share feelings because your fathers have never shared feelings. They have provided you. Your mother has not shared feelings, but start sharing your feelings now. It's easy to start sharing little feelings. Sir, I liked your lecture. That's the easy way to start sharing feelings. Sir, I was a little upset when you did not elaborate on this concept. Easy way to share. Then you can go to all other feelings, because if you don't share feelings, it will explode inside you. Anybody can get depressed. Mind is not made of iron or steel, it's made of neurons. Mind is like a fuse, it can go off without reason. My dear friends, in spite of doing everything, you might get depressed. No reason. Indians have this stupid idea of what is the root cause. Root cause analysis in engineering, not in mental health always. You may not have a trigger. You may not have a trigger. Fracture is visible, but depression is invisible. So if you get depressed, if you feel that nothing appeals to you, head is like a stone, you feel sad, no interest, you feel like crying, you're sad, you feel hopeless, worthless, you feel like God should really take me away, you feel so horrible, immediately go and see somebody. And friends, if somebody comes and says this to you, don't say, do yoga, do this, do that, look at me. When there's a fracture of the mind, yoga does not work immediately. It works only when you're improving. When there's a fracture of the mind, love, holidays, gifts, food does not work. Amitabh said, "Do boon zindagi ki in oral polio. Go and see a psychiatrist first and see that you're treated." In my family, my first cousin committed suicide. My uncle had bipolar disorder. My father's half the family has bipolar disorder. Half of them have committed suicide. I have taken antidepressants for 3 weeks at the age of 21, 22. It's perfectly normal. Nothing to worry. Don't delay the inevitable. My dear friends, depression can come as only anger and agitation. It can come as laziness also. I don't feel like going to the class. It can come like somebody saying, I want samadhi. I still remember when I started my practice, my friend's mother. My friend said, my grandmother wants to take samadhi. And there were people coming to the house, touching her feet and praying. I said, I am suspicious. I went home and I found that I had doubts that was not samadhi. She had stopped eating without informing that she stopped eating for samadhi. I told my friend, give her fluoxetine liquid, 5 ml, put it in her mouth. Samadhi's plan got cancelled in 10 days. So my dear friends, suspect depression and you'll save somebody's life. Depression is like Ravan. It can come in many disguises. Any change in behavior, screen for mental health. And I would appeal to all the colleges, all the leaders in the webinar, have voluntary mental health checkups in your college. Checkups, not a camp. And in that checkups, your dean and director with the family should go first. Checkups. We do it all the time. I do it in my school during the open house. 7 to 8% we discover severe depression and we ask them to take help. Mental checkup should be a part of the college activity, just like annual day. And it should be fun, huh? There should be balloons and music and fun. And when the seniors go and do the checkup, stigma breaks, the juniors will also do it. My dear boys and girls, teachers, never die for a guy, boy or girl, guys, boy or girl. And don't tell yourself, I will get better tomorrow. Parents wait for a miracle. When children come and say, I feel suicidal, parents wait for a miracle. Children come and say, I'm depressed. They wait for a miracle. If kids come and say, I can't understand this subject, please help me. They wait for a miracle. Don't wait for miracles. It happens only in screen, in mythology. It doesn't happen in real life. Time is not always the best healer. Please seek help. My dear friends, last slide. If the best example of reciprocal empathy, in my opinion, recently was during the 2023 World Cup when we lost. Virat Kohli was crying because he lost. Maxwell was crying because Virat lost, and they both hugged each other. And the same thing happened in 2024. Pant went and consoled the South African teammates. That is the spirit of the game, and that is the spirit of life. That should happen in all our colleges. My dear friends, if sports persons can weep in public when they win or when they lose, what is wrong with us? Why don't we weep in public if we really feel bad? God has not given two eyes and a big bucket of tears just for that. Tears are a balancing factor for mental health. So don't assume that you should not cry. My dear friends, as I stop, I would like to say only one thing. You might lose your wealth to somebody. You might lose your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your wife or your husband to somebody. You might lose your land. I am from Karnataka. I am a farmer. You might lose your land to somebody. You might lose your house to somebody. You might lose your wealth to somebody. You might lose your job to somebody. You might lose everything to somebody. But remember one thing. Nobody can steal your knowledge. And that is in your hands. When I see successful doctors or successful human beings, successful means good human beings also. They are successful because they acquired one word every day, like our saint from Karnataka, Sarvagnya. And they use their knowledge not to increase their bank balance, but to do good for the society. So, my dear friends, again, the last sentence. Your money can be stolen, your wealth can be stolen. If your money is stolen, don't die, don't end your life. If your wealth is stolen, don't end your life. If your land is stolen, don't end your life. If your boyfriend, girlfriend leaves you, or your wife, husband leaves you, don't end your life. If you lose everything in life, don't end your life, because tomorrow is a new sun. Sunrise happens every day. Sun never hides himself from the earth. With this, I thank the college for inviting me, for your beautiful college, and the doctor who, Anand, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anand.
Yeah. Thank you, Anand, and thank you, everybody. And let us understand this 5 years journey is a joyous journey.